good morning to Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Raghavendra Tiwari sir, respected Registrar Mr. Kanwal Pal Singh sir, respected DSW Professor V.K. Garg sir, respected Dean in Charge Academics Professor Ramakrishna Hostika sir, respected Dean Research Professor Anjana Munshi ma'am, respected Director of IQAC Professor Monisha Dhiman ma'am, respected resource persons, faculty members, and all dear participants. It's a moment of extreme pleasure and great accolade for Department of Financial Administration, Central University of Punjab, to extend a hearty welcome to everyone who have joined us in the 5-day AICTE Atal-sponsored Faculty Development Program on Strategic Planning and Implementation in Digital Era.
First of all, on behalf of School of Management, we would like to express our special thanks to our Honorable PC Sir for his kind permission for this event. We also would like to appreciate the support of AICTE, the official sponsor for this event. So without whose support, this event could not have been possible. Hence, the topic of today's FDP is strategic planning and implementation in digital era. And you all know that digitalization has caused immense impact on the business environment in the last few years. Whatever may be the functional area, whether it is operations, production, finance, marketing, HR, so you will witness the impact of digitalization on every functional area. Every business leader is now trying to explore the methods to cope up with the competition emerging from digitalization. Some are becoming aggressive in their approach, while others are found to be defensive. While some prefer to be, in the spectators category. They want to be mere spectators in this, happening world of digitalization. But this digitalization has forced all these business leaders to divert from the category of being defensive or being the spectator. So time has now come for these business leaders to acknowledge the strong impact of digitalization, and they have to understand the aggression expected from them during this strategic change emerging from digitalization. When we speak of strategic management, it has 4 main dimensions: environment scanning, strategic formulation, strategic implementation, and strategic evaluation and control. So it is important now for all the teaching community to understand the impact of digitalization and the impact of this technological change on strategic planning. And every perspective, whether it is this environmental scanning, or it is strategic formulation, or strategic control, or implementation. So how the customization, how adjustments have to be made in strategic formulation because of the emergence of digitalization, that we have to understand. And I hope that this 5-day FDP event will provide you deep insights on these 4 dimensions with reference to digitalization.
You all know that this was somewhere in 1850s when industrial revolution started in this world. So when men came to know about the iron, then a lot of machineries were produced, and you all know how the world moved toward industrialization. So when I was looking in the morning on the title of this FDP, I could find two very important words in it. One is the strategic planning and implementation, and second one is the digital era.
Participants, thank you very much for registering yourself, and I'm sure that you will be definitely you'll get a lot of things to learn from this FDP.
So let's start now. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy that you can ask me. If you want to mail me, my mail address is here, so you can mail me also. And if somebody is doing some good research, we can also share it. I've shared with you all with Professor Sharma some presentations which you need to see, like Procter & Gamble and Hindalco presentation. I've sent it to you. The recent acquisition which they have done.
The use of the renewable energy sources, there is a lot of focus on this, and that is the reason that whole of the world is giving a lot of importance to our present Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, because it is expected that he can have a big push on this particular segment as well. So it won't be easy for the companies to avoid or not to consider this environmental factors while planning their their strategy, because this becomes a very, very important aspect here. As we can see in the automobile sector, Maruti has already stopped the diesel, the production of the diesel vehicles. They are prioritizing more and more on petrol vehicles. But in the coming years, there is a lot of potential, or there is a lot of scope for, they say, the electric vehicles as well.
So as you can see in the slide also, appraisal of employees is an important aspect of management, which determines many factors regarding employee job commitment and largely the productivity of the organization. See, when we focus on the organizational appraisal, it obviously will include the appraisal of the employees also. And the organizational appraisal will contain two important things, right? It is concerned with the internal environment of the organization, which is determined to play the interplay of various things, organization resources, what are the resources available at the end of the organization, its behavior, resource and all that, strength and weaknesses, the synergistic efforts and the competencies of the organization.
Method of pursuing strategies, what I understood from the context in which it is given is, a strategy has been formulated, and there could have been many different approaches for formulating a strategy. And once the strategy have been formulated, we are going to pursue that strategy. That is what is my understanding of this topic, based on which I had adopted to discuss balanced scorecard. So this is so the balanced scorecard will be a process by which, for the strategy that has been developed.
Now there are the different types of the strategies are there. There is a grand strategy is there. So general plan of major action to achieve the long-term goals. And in the long-term goals, it is becoming, that is the growth. Growth is there, and the growth, stability, and the retrenchment. These are the three steps are there. So always whenever we are talking about these.
In most of the organizations, from businesses to non-profit to the military type of organizations, the chain of command is an important component of an organizational structure. This helps to eliminate the inefficiency by having each employee report to a single manager instead of to several bosses, right? In the corporate context, this type of chain of command is reflected in the organizational structure and affects job descriptions as well as.
In some organizations, they just focus on providing, product, the best, the as many number of units as possible. Like, Japanese products and products of many European countries, and even, the products which we are manufacturing in India, our focus is on to the quality. And in case you look onto the approach of Chinese companies, their focus is on to production. Chinese products you will find in large quantity available everywhere, but so far as the quality is concerned, nobody will give you any guarantee about that to you.
So all the levels of organizations are working for achieving the common goal of the industry or an organization. Their efforts are directed towards achieving the vision of an organization. So the Tata says they have a clear-cut vision, but all the levels of these strategic levels, they are working for achievement, for the accomplishment of the particular common goal. So basically, the first thing, when we people are talking about the corporate level strategy, it is all about the decision making about the organizational issues.
So this was the committee report which was given to the Government of India, and later on it was passed by the cabinet. That was May 2019. Recently, the 1 year of NEP we have already celebrated.
Now, when you looked at it, who would have actually thought that a British Petroleum, which is a pure oil exploration company, is now looking, if you look at the video there, in which all product profile, which all areas has it and British Petroleum has entered? It started with just an exploration company around the world, correct? Wherever the oil is there, let me go there. But if you look at that video, which is the product segments of BP? Well, if you look at the video, what will you find out?
Electric vehicle.
They are entering electric vehicle. Mobility is the way they have invested into. Second,
wind energy.
Yes, they have entered the wind energy. Yes. Solar energy. They have entered.
The topic today we'll taking are behavioral implementation issues in the digital era. So as we know that whenever we say that the digitalization is there, this means that our organization is technology based. And whenever we talk about technology, it means that we have integrated the technology in the process of organizational learning. So when we say work itself is not work. It's a process. It's a process of learning while delivering the goods and services. So
but I will start with a small discussion, right? We will there's a small reading which will take around 2-3 minutes, because the agenda for today, which I have kept for myself, is that we need to discover how organizations can foster a competitive spirit among employees, right? And stay ahead of rivals, right? That's what actually strategic intent would mean.
Now, technology is the main driver of the business, and it has key impact on environment. So far, so much that we are calling it physical world.
Of Financial Administration under the leadership of Dr. Thakur and then his team. The title of this FDP was Strategic Planning and Implementation in Digital Era. And as I'm told that there are 122 participants, they had registered for this program all over India. And now this new era of having these FDPs also online, it's little convenient also, and this has become the new normal. And I'm sure that the deliberations have been, up to the mark, and the participants have definitely some good carry home messages.